The 5 most dangerous states to live in America. Fun
Illinois.
times. All right, so surprisingly, it's not Illinois, and it's also not New York,
Oh, I
or
didn't think it would be
California,
New York.
or Florida. Amazingly, it's not. Florida's not on the list either. Starting with the 5th most dangerous state to live in America, we have South Carolina. Now, why is South Carolina so dangerous? Well, we have some stats here, and these stats are the violent crimes per 100,000. You have 558.8. You have a poverty rate of 18.3%, and like I said, it breaks down the stats from violent crime poverty rate, percentage of population with a bachelor's degree or higher, and property crimes per 100,000. So the percent of the population with a bachelor's degree or higher in South Carolina is 25.1%. Now, property crimes per 100,000 is 3,822.2. That is the highest in the nation. Now, as far as the poverty rate, 18.3% is the 9th worst in America, and the bachelor's degree is among the nation's lowest. And you're going to start to see a little bit of a theme going here with some of these states. New Mexico is the 4th most dangerous state. They have a 559.1 violent crime per 100,000 people. They have a poverty rate of 20.8%. The percent of population with a bachelor's degree or higher is at 26.1%. And for property crimes per 100,000 people, you have 3,600.7, and that is the 4th highest in the nation. Now, the next most dangerous state would be Alaska. Yes, Alaska. They have a violent crime rate per 100,000 people of 603.2. They have a poverty rate of 10.1%, not too bad. Percent of population with a bachelor's degree or higher is 28%, and property crimes per 100,000 people, 2,739.4. Now that is the 24th lowest in America, and this is an amazing stat right here. A 2010 study suggests that 37% of women who live in Alaska say they've suffered some sort of sexual assault in their lives. So that's a major, major problem in Alaska.
The ratio.
Wow, that's an amazing ratio compared to the national average.
No, but there's a lot more men in Alaska than women, so there's like there's a big differential. I forget what the exact number is.
Either way, it
is disastrous.
It's a disaster, absolutely. The 2nd most dangerous state in America is Nevada. They have a violent crime per 100,000 rate of 607.6, a poverty rate of 16.4%. The percentage of people with a bachelor's degree or higher is only 22.4%. As far as property crimes per 100,000 people, that would be 2,809. That is the 23rd highest in the nation. And another amazing stat is Nevada also has among the lowest high school and college graduation rates. And if you're wondering what is number 1, the most dangerous state to live in America is Tennessee. I didn't see that coming. Tennessee.
Yeah, neither did I.
They have a violent crime rate per 100,000 of 643.6. They have a poverty rate of 17.9%. The percent of population with a bachelor's degree or higher is 24.3%. And property crimes per 100,000 people is 3,371.4. That is the 10th highest in the nation. Now, once again, here in Tennessee, high school and college graduation rates are lower than most of the rest of the country. So, did you see any kind of overarching theme here? They all have Republican governors. South Carolina, of course, has Nikki Haley as her governor. She's a Republican. New Mexico, Susana Martinez. She is also a Republican. Sean Parnell, governor of Alaska, also Republican. Brian Sandoval, he's a Republican, governor of Nevada. And Bill Haslam is a Republican of Tennessee. So these are all Republican states. Now, to be fair, New Mexico and Nevada did actually vote for Obama in 2012.
They're purple.
Yep, those are the purple states. 3 of those states have fully Republican legislators. That is Alaska, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Full Democratic legislators is Nevada and New Mexico. But like I said, all 5 of those states have Republican governors. And here's some interesting stats. South Carolina and Tennessee both have very strict voter ID laws. And the other 3 have proposed voter ID laws.
First, it's not that their bachelor the number of people with bachelor's degrees was a common in there, and obviously high school diplomas like lead to reduced bachelor. If you don't have a high school diploma, the chances that you'll finish college are lower. But like there really are 2 purple states, because Nevada, I mean, they didn't get rid of Harry Reid when he was one of the most unpopular senators. So you got 2 purple states, and I almost want to dismiss Alaska, because Alaska to me is like it's
So
dark,
Alaska
like
is Sarah Palin land.
yeah, but like it's always fun to dismiss Alaska, so that's one reason. But they actually have the highest male to female ratio in the entire country, and I just looked that up, so it is a fact. It's also like really dark, like half the year in Alaska, so like Alaska has like a super high suicide rate, like Seattle. So like Seattle, Washington is a more liberal city, but like the people are more likely to commit suicide in bad weather conditions. So I kind of want to dismiss Alaska, but like obviously poverty plays a factor in it, and
Yes.
I would also like point out that probably stricter, excluding Alaska, stricter drug laws like might
Actually,
have negative.
that was a factor in one of the states. One of the states, I forget which one, actually had very high drug use rates.
Right. But like stricter drug laws, like in what you call it, in South Carolina, definitely, Tennessee, definitely, Nevada, I'm
Right.
not too sure about, and New Mexico, I know when Governor Gary Johnson was better, he did some reforms in that area, but like New Mexico would seem like one of the states with bad drug laws, so.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's more different reasons, but I think education is the overarching thing.
Yeah, I would agree. It's you've got education and you've got poverty, and when you have a lack of education, obviously you can't move up in the world. You can't get to a better place.
Right. So you're more likely to fall into that, those huge pools of poverty. There are also states that, for the most part, especially New Mexico, I happen to know, have very lax gun laws, and and I was kind of surprised that Louisiana wasn't on the list.
I was also surprised. I expected Louisiana and Alabama to make the list, but surprisingly they didn't.
They're so poor. There's nothing to steal. No property.
Oh, that's bad.
I denounce and reject myself. Louisiana actually is surprising that it's not on there, because they're still recovering from Katrina. A lot of people lost a lot of things during that time, and crime did explode recently after Katrina. But and they have a Republican governor, but
here's another thing too. I've noticed that a majority of these states are red states. And I'm not sure how many pay more into the federal government pay less into the federal government than they receive back in benefits.
Probably
of the whole
all of them.
welfare state. But I would argue that if Republican economics were so good, that you wouldn't be seeing so much crime, so much poverty, so much so little education. If Republican policies were so good, as if like they like to tell us.
Right, of course, obviously.
But honestly, it's probably all of those states pay less in taxes than they receive. Maybe Tennessee, because have heard some like good economic news about Tennessee lately.
Don't they have
But
like a some sort of a boom there, natural gas perhaps?
something to that nature.